Hi everyone, GM. My name is Victor. Today I'm very honored to have the opportunity to talk on Web3 Festival of Hong Kong. And my topic is Bento. What is Bento? Bento means bring the next trillion on chain. It's about massive adoption of RWA, especially RWA NFTs. So let me begin with how the world evolved. As you know, the world has evolved across generations of technologies. First, it was electricity, and then internet and blockchain. Each of these generations of technology represent the adoption of energy, information, and trust, respectively. And every one of them begin with very primitive and basic form. For example, you wouldn't know that the evolvement of electricity came if you fly back when Thomas Edison introduced light bulb. It is very hard to imagine today everything is connected with electricity. And internet actually started in a very basic form as email, which is just merely replacing the tedious physical mail and fax. And blockchain started with some bitcoins, Ethereum, and tokens. But that's not everything. In fact, generation of technology moves on build on one another. For example, air conditioning depends on the development of refrigerator, and microwaves depends on the technology that people developed over time of radio. And computer and cell phone was developed based on chips. So as we know, the world has moved on from adopting electricity and internet to adopting the blockchain. All assets, as we see, will be brought on chain, just like how we see everything is now connected on internet and electricity. But still, it is sometimes very hard to imagine why people need and want to bring assets on chain. I got asked a lot of times with that question. A simple answer would be, if we take email as the analogy, you can see the similarities here. The physical mails take days to arrive, to deliver, and emails take seconds. Just like, little to people's knowledge, Visa and NASDAQ actually take days to settle, right? Usually Visa is 1 day settlements and NASDAQ is currently 1 day, but in the past it has been T+2. But blockchain allows minutes or second settlements. But not only that, email is, to the large extent, permissionless to open an account. You can open an account without having a physical address, without having to rent a house, buy a house, or have an office. Likewise, it is so much simpler to open an account on blockchain compared to opening a bank account or a brokerage account. And even better, the programmability. That's actually how you can receive email notifications, website verifications, sometimes spam. But also blockchains enable programmability that enables DeFi and many things. So let's take a little bit history view here. In 2017, ICO Rush was memorized by many people. It was very impressive to see native tokens and meme tokens dominate them. But today, the market is largely dependent on other coins, but fundamentally they're powered by exchange with stable coins that is pegged to fiat. We call them DeFi summer. That was 3 years ago. And NFT has 3 years span too. In 2021, we see the memes NFT take off and native NFTs like ENS and Uniswap. But in 2024, increasingly we see people move real asset NFT on-chain. In fact, we have to give a lot of credit to memes. Memes, NFT, and meme coins help drive the adoption of and funding of these technologies and infrastructures. Wallets, exchange, and DeFi is now available. Memes use them to do a lot of development and speculation. It was fun, it was great, but the stairs of adoption would not stop here. Just like how ERC20 tokens have taken this path from fun to stable to return and usage, we see the same thing to happen in RWA NFT too. Actually, we see the adoption path from easier to harder ones. It will begin with fungible assets like stablecoins, and now you see treasury bills and ETFs being brought on chain. And the next easier one would be digital assets, such as domain names or game points and other things that is natively represented digitally. And then it would be physical assets such as houses, offices, real estate, car titles. And then it will be intangible assets like patent and trademark, those more complicated ones. That's why we think domain names is the next big things, and each of them will bring several hundred billions, if not trillions, on chain. And that's how we start bringing the world on chain. Now I'd like to talk about how we go from meme to real world. Even though memes are great, they have built a lot of infrastructures. These infrastructures are not complicated enough to model the real world. An analogy was this joke. Say, if you want to start model a cow, you can begin with assuming that this cow is a perfect sphere in a vacuum. But a real cow is not a perfect sphere in a vacuum. In fact, there are many things that meme coins, meme NFT will not experience, but happens every day. For example, a patent can expire. A house could be taken to foreclosure or tear down due to disasters. And sometimes domain names can get into conflict of brand and trademark. So how soon can we tokenize those assets depend on how easy it is to take those into account. For example, how easy it is to represent this asset on chain. How easy is it to enforce ownership on chain, to express drive power on chain, or receive status updates on chain. A lot of times it also depends on how easy or hard it is to move on-ramp or off-ramp this asset. And I want to say solving each one of them is not rocket science. The hard part is actually getting the ecosystem for it. For example, if you tokenize a real estate title or a car title, how can you ensure it will appear in every wallet that people want to use to hold it? How to ensure that every exchange can actually deal with it? That is why we have been advocating the concept of think open. In the past, we talked about the network effect, and we were very, very happy to see some very innovative giants build network effects. That's how Apple was able to pull off app stores and have application builders built for them. And Google, of course, the same. But in Web3, we believe there is a bigger opportunity, a bigger potential, which is brought by open network effect. You see, if a company wants to adopt Google application, Google's API platform, they have to build it for whatever Google designed and defined. But it doesn't necessarily work in Apple's platform. They have to do it again. They have to sign up for an account in Apple as well. But in blockchain, much of these are open, are interoperable. For example, US ERC20 and ERC721 standards are being used by almost all exchanges. If you issue a new NFT, it would be available on all these exchanges that have accepted ERC20 and ERC721. Likewise, wallets could accept them too. And that enables interoperability. And when we bring new assets on chain, the exchange and wallets are ready for them. That's the power. And that's why we're continuously to push for standards to solve those problems. For example, much of these new standards are about authentication or authorization, to make sure if something goes wrong or a status change needs to be represented on chain, they can be authorized. We also come up with, as a group, we come up with standards that reflect specific rights or separations, like NFT liens, or using one asset to hold another asset. For example, if you have a house in one of the communities, you can go to the gym. You have the rights to access the gym or the pool. But doing this is hard because you have to get human consensus. You have to get wallets and crypto groups, exchange groups to adopt those. And that's why several discussion venues are set up, such as all ERC dApps, all wallet dApps, and Ethereum edition forums. And I urge everyone who cares about the open network effect to go there and start discussion. Specifically in RWA NFT, as we want to bring them on chain, we're proposing and forming a RWA NFT standard coalition with a few initial members, and we look forward to whoever are interested to come join us and join the discussion. So with that, let's start build together to bring next $1 trillion on chain, which is Bento. And if you're specifically interested in learning about how we tokenize domains at Namefi, or want to join the RWA NFT coalition, I have put my QR code. Look forward to talk with you. Thank you.